start? We are on NBA time.
The All-Star game started at 8:40 or whatever it was.
That was a little like that was. I mean, I can do 15
Brutal.
minutes because we're conditioned for it, but 45,
Brutal.
brother.
I was asleep. Let's get into it. All right, guys.
All right.
Presented by Under Armour and Sleeper Fantasy. Welcome to Light Years. Andy, we got a special guest today.
Yes, sir. That's my guy.
I don't even want to introduce you as from The Ringer because Andy and I knew you pre-Ringer fame.
Of course. We go back to like 2014.
We do. We go way back.
Schools. Yeah, man.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the show we did at the Independent in 2019. The good times, and then of course the world shut down.
Was that 2019? Was that 2019?
It was. It was right before they opened the Chase Center. And yeah, it was right on the onset. We thought the Warriors would be okay. Didn't really know what would happen. They sucked ass. COVID hit. I don't know. Everyone developed a new personality for a couple of years, and then we came out the other side, right?
I remember Trey was blacked out on the couch in the backseat.
Hey.
It's too bad. He gave a couple good stories and he was gone. Those are the good times. I switched
it to the FaceTime camera because this is a brand new. This is a brand new MacBook Pro, the M3 chip, y'all. Work just sent me.
It's the M3. I'm on the M2. I have an M1. Then work has got me an M2. There's an M3 now?
There's an M3 now. Yeah, work just sent this to me. I'm very excited about it.
There's no mission.
So this is turning into a Tech Bro podcast. One.
Apple Vision Pro. Hey, are you guys getting the Apple Vision Pro, by the way? You guys like that?
Nah, I'm going to let my girl get it because, frankly, she makes more money than me. And and I'm sure she'll love it.
$5,000.
I don't want to go down that path because I can imagine myself enjoying it, and then I have it on all the time. I don't need to be playing with my 2-year-old son with Vision Pros on. Like,
hey, maybe give it to him.
I definitely don't need to do that. It just sounds very dystopian. It's not a reality I want to go down right now.
True.
Are you fully back from the greatest show on earth, which is NBA All-Star?
Bruh. Look, here's what I'll say. So we had a show on Saturday. Shouts to Ben Cruz, Rob Mahoney, Elizabeth Fearman for organizing that. Of course, Verrier, Cal Mann, all the fans in Indy that came through Saturday at the Hi-Fi, our live show, our live podcast. And so, I got there Friday in a blizzard, of course. It was literally like raining cats and dogs, or snowing cats and dogs, excuse me. And, whatever. Indy was fine. I destroy all these guys. I just watched Chris Bell start 8 from 3 in the first half.
Thanks very much.
Finish 8 of 10. They didn't have him set one back screen, but only sat in the corner. Didn't run a pick and roll with him as the back action.
Draymond comedy,
man. So yeah, went to All-Star Saturday, which is good because at least Steph, Sabrina, the 3-point competition and the dunk contest, bad as they was, at least you can say all 3 of those events, the participants were going full speed or a reasonable proximity of full speed, like breaking a sweat. So I was satisfied with All-Star Saturday. I've been out on a dunk contest for like a decade now, so whatever. But at least guys were really going hard to win. I wish there was more star power, yada, yada, yada. We all know that. Then, of course, the All-Star game last year, I was in Salt Lake, horrible media seats. I'm talking about they had us in the 500s at the Delta Center. Just terrible seats. And
Denver, basically.
The effort wasn't much better, right? Last year's All-Star game was actually worse, if people don't remember. It was actually way worse. It was actually a
remember.
48-minute layup line. This time they pretended to sort of do it, so it just turned into 48 minutes of warm-up shots. But last year, it was at least there's a higher degree of difficulty from a warm-up three-pointer than a wide-open layup. So last year was horrible. I left, I want to say, a quarter and a half in to go back to my room, order Thai food, and be done
in
with
Salt Lake.
City. Yeah, Salt Lake.
You order Thai food in Salt.
So that's the secret about Thai food. It's good everywhere. They don't make bad Thai food anywhere. Honestly,
all right.
Any state you go, and whatever, we could get dorky about this, but like Thailand, this is something that they've actually like put money into, like exporting their food culture to different parts of the world. They even make these people follow a guideline as to what's on the menu.
They
what
legitimately
the
franchise their
Is your girl
Yes.
Thai? Is your girl? Because I know the
No,
same.
I'm just
You
a
didn't look
greedy
this up.
Haitian. I'm just a greedy bastard, Andy. Like when you're as greedy as me, it just happens. And so whatever. Last year's game was horrible, and I was like, it's not going to be worse than that. It wasn't, but it was still horrible. It's just horrible. It's just these guys can't be bothered to hoop.
It's just
That's it.
That's enough All-Star talk as far as I'm concerned.
It's garbage.
I don't need to
Nobody
go.
should
I don't need
watch it.
45 minutes into it. Yeah, it is what it is. Shout out Steph for saving the show.
Sam's like,
But that's all
we
we got.
talking Warriors. We talking Warriors. Let's go.
Honestly, do we need to go another 45 minutes on the All-Star game? No.
Well, they don't get paid, so they're trying to get paid because these guys don't get paid enough. So they need another. They need
Carl
another 200
Anthony
grand.
Towns isn't paid enough.
enough.
Try. 60 mil a year isn't enough to try in an All-Star game.
From
Carl
inflation,
Anthony
man.
Towns,
Gotta
who
get up to
contributes
60. By the
nothing
way,
else to the NBA besides his actual basketball contribution. Lord knows he's not some big celebrity generating interest. He's not some brand ambassador. He's not the world's greatest, sort of diplomat for the game of basketball. And he's not. He's just a guy who hoops for the Minnesota Timberwolves and does nothing else. And the idea that guy needs more money to hoop at an All-Star game is hilarious.
This is what dreams is made of.
He isn't the one who said it. He knows he's getting away with it. He's just like, I'm just gonna collect my check and stay quiet in the back.
How did he even make the team?
I
don't like Gobert, but come on, man.
Yeah.
How did he make
it's
the
silly.
team?
They've got the league's best defense by far, and it's not because of Karl Towns.
No, it is not. All right, Waz, I wanted to ask you this. So, second half starts on Tuesday. Warriors didn't make a move. I think we're all pretty aligned on saying this Warriors team is not contending. They're kind of just like playing out the season. We'll see what they do in the offseason going into next season. Maybe they develop some players. Maybe it's interesting. Would you even define success as for the Warriors this season? Because it's kind of a weird spot to be in. They're not rebuilding. They didn't go all in. They're just kind of floating there, like trying to figure some stuff out, maybe be dangerous. I don't even know how to measure success at this point.
I think success for the Warriors this year is playing in an actual playoff series. Not making the quote-unquote play-in, but playing in a 7-game series in the playoffs this year will be success because I think ultimately whoever they play, they could have a decent chance of beating. And, that's good enough. They go 7 games or something or make it to the second round or something. To me, that's a successful Warriors season. I don't know how anybody looks at the roster, looks at the actual output, the names being whatever they are, but what they've achieved this year has those names and could say, oh, they should be doing more than that this year. I don't see it. I don't see the potential for, a deep run into the conference finals, a finals run or that type of thing. I don't see it.
And they're not like, and that's the thing. They're also not tanking. They're not playing the other way where they're like, all right, it's over. They're cutting the cord. We're going to go get, I don't know, Alex Sarr, or whoever the hell the first pick is, right? Like, so it's kind of hard to define it, but I think I agree with you. I think my piggyback on that would be, all right, let's see what Jonathan Kuminga can become. Let's see where that lands by the end of the offseason, and then we can have a more interesting conversation about what you want to do going into next year. Let's see what Brandon Podziemski can become. Let's see if Andrew Wiggins can get back to what he was 2 years ago in the playoffs, or are you just done with him? Like those are kind of the subplots of the season. But I think it gets back to your point, which is get into the playoffs, see what kind of noise you can make, and then have a more serious offseason.
And I think it's matchup dependent too. Like we were talking about this. They blew that game against the Clippers for no reason last week. I'm not afraid of the Clippers if I'm the Warriors in a playoff series. Like, do you feel like, oh my God, how do I overcome not Kawhi Leonard, although guy barely plays in the playoffs, but how do I overcome James Harden? How do I overcome playoff P? Like, I don't see why Russell Westbrook, who's going to get big minutes for this team in the playoffs, like, I don't see why they should be afraid of this team. I've been saying it all year. Like, OKC has had some nice outings against some pretty good, regular season teams, Boston and Minnesota and the like. I would probably pick the Warriors to beat them in a series, man. On guile and know-how alone.
So I was watching. I said this earlier. Actually, was glad you brought this up because I thought the same thing was the debate today because people are bored and have nothing else to talk about. The debate on ESPN is like Steph, KD, and LeBron. Which one is going to be the first one to win a championship, right? And they're like, oh, it's KD, and I'm like, dude, it's none of them.
It's not KD.
It's none of them because okay,
KD.
None of them this year for sure.
I'm talking about this year, but. If the Warriors play OKC, that's what I'll say. If the Warriors are the 8th seed or the 7th seed, they play OKC. Would anybody be surprised if the Warriors win in 6? Not a single soul.
No.
The problem is, though, like, they're not making it through 3 rounds. None of these teams are lasting 3 rounds. 3 rounds, Draymond's getting suspended. 3 rounds, who knows where Wiggins is going to end up. You know what I mean? 3 rounds. Hell, I mean, Steph, we've seen him hurt in the postseason. Like, it's just 3 rounds of Kuminga. You know what I mean? I would love for him to get 3 rounds of postseason experience, same with Podziemski, but like, come on, like they're not.
Yeah, they haven't played 3 rounds in their lives. Why do you think they'll be ready to run the table year one? Right? So
one round, I see it. 1 round, they beat Minnesota. Hell yeah, I could see it, but then again, it goes back to
again. If they played Minnesota, would you be like, oh, it's impossible to beat Minnesota? Like I think Minnesota's a better team, top to bottom. But, they're counting on a very young still, as much as we love Ant Edwards and his makeup. He's a young guy, prone to make mistakes. Karl Towns is a walking mistake. He's a walking, living, breathing basketball mistake. And, again, Jaden McDaniels, I love him. He's a young guy. And honestly, I think people overrate Rudy Gobert's limitations as a playoff defender. I will never get tired of saying this. The very premise of that old Utah team was that Rudy was so good at defense. We literally could start a bunch of negatives on defense and be an all offense team and have Rudy literally plug the holes of 4 other people on the floor. Just go back and look at the guys that got big minutes for that team. That's not what Minnesota's doing right now on defense. Like, they're going to stop people on defense in the postseason, right? Like Ant Edwards and Jaden McDaniels, when those 2 guys lock in on defense, it's actually really special. And so I do think they have an elite unit, and I would probably favor them against the Warriors. I definitely favor them. But again, never underestimate the heart of a champion. Like, I don't look at the top 2 teams in the West right now and say, oh, it can't happen. Now, Denver, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I think Denver, especially because Golden State, because a lot of times Golden State's a team can have a weakness, but the other team has to be able to exploit it. So Golden State has a size disadvantage against most of the teams, but a lot of teams don't exploit it. Like the Lakers happened to do it last year, but Sacramento couldn't do it the round before, right? But whereas with Denver, it's just like, no, they're gonna punish the size differential. At all of the positions too. So, I think matchup dependent, they could get an upset going. Maybe they end up on the right side of the bracket somehow, right? Maybe Denver ends up 3, Golden State ends up in the 1-8, they end up beating the 4-5 in the second round and go to the conference finals. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility to me. Although I would be surprised.
Yeah. I mean,
it's kind of like the Warriors last season. It's basically defining success is kind of like the Warriors last season. It's just
the only difference is last year they had kind of the bones of the team that won the title the year before, whereas now it's like we've thrown that to the wind. I think most of the Warriors' issues were they over-indexed that 2022 title team. Like, we reformed Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole's the next superstar of this league. Neither one of those things
I kind of
happened.
can't blame them for that one, though. Yeah, but I hear
I'm
you.
not saying I
hear
can
you.
blame. I'm not saying I
Jordan
can blame
Poole being
them,
the
but
only
like
young guy that worked out was something like as a GM, you kind of want to reward yourself for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not like I hold no ill will. I don't think they're idiots for it. I think when guys play like that in the playoffs, the natural instinct is like, yeah, we won. Let's keep the team together. And, we'll make changes when we have to going down the line. But then things happen, Draymond punches a dude. Andrew Wiggins goes AWOL. And so now they're kind of back in the position they were in 2021, where they're trying to figure out the supporting pieces around Steph and Draymond.
Yeah.
So this is what it is.
And look, this is another thing too that I've been banging on our show is the Klay situation, which, as sad as it is, what I love about the Klay thing is his professional and personal pride. Like, he's not afraid to show that he cares,
Yes.
which, like, not to bring it back to All-Star, like, it'd be nice if more of our marquee guys had that attitude about their job in the game. Like, watching Klay, what's the Latin dude's name that took his minutes down the stretch?
Santos or Lester Quinones.
Yes,
we got a couple of them.
It was Quinones that game.
Yeah.
And
was Latin? What is he? I thought he was Filipino.
Dominican. Come on, man.
I'm just
making shit up.
I'm just making shit up.
Keep
it moving.
This is the Asian on Asian drive-by that nobody needed. We didn't need you doing that to the Filipinos.
I'm just saying.
Lord have mercy.
Waz is from New York. He knows the Dominican as well as anyone.
It's just the name. I'm like, that's so obviously Latin. But yeah, so when Tony Slater goes up to him after the game, and Klay is like, I just love the guy. He's trying to be happy for this young guy who's breaking through, but also feels horrible that he's not playing better. And like, it's such an ego crush, and he's doing it like in front of the world. But again, like, the guy is just so human. Like, I really appreciate that, right? And I think the group, if that attitude of professionalism and giving a fuck can permeate the group, can somehow penetrate Andrew Wiggins, I still think they can do some pretty cool things, man.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like it does. It was a nice way to end before All-Star break to see Klay come off the bench, have a good game, and just kind of like, it felt like an acceptance of his situation in some ways, which was kind of like the biggest question. I think if you go back on the old pods, I'm just like, he's gone. This isn't going to work. This is going to end ugly. Doesn't want to.
He's going to make some big shots in the playoffs. Watch.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's going to make some big shots in the playoffs. He's not going to play great in every game. No. We know that's not on the offer, but he's going to play. He's going to make some nice plays in the playoffs, I believe.
The funny thing about Klay, people don't remember, is that he actually was not good shooting in half the playoff games he's played. It's just, he is so great. He's had so many great memories. Yeah, timely. Yeah. And then he was also a great defender, which he's not now. So
yes, he's just not. He can't stay in front of, my God. Yeah,
he used to guard McCollum and Dame. Now he's guarding, he would be guarding Al-Farouq Aminu. You know what I mean? Like,
peak athleticism Westbrook. They left Klay on an island against that fool. And he strapped him up. Straight jacket. In a big spot. So shouts to Klay. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about the LeBron situation. I need to talk to you guys about this because here's the thing. that trade chatter was real. LeBron basically making a show of his appearance at MSG to Laker management. Like, do y'all think I can't be happy anywhere else? Like, y'all don't think that like I could go somewhere else and make noise and be perfectly happy with my situation? Like, you really think y'all like threatening me with the trade shit when like I can blow up any trade that you try to do because I'm a free agent in the summer and I'm LeBron James? So it's like they know I'm willing to make a stink. I'm willing to make a stink with the Lakers. Do you think I'm not going to make a stink with some team that trades for me that I don't want to be at, knowing that I'm a free? Like, you have no leverage here.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that the Lakers were talking about it or that LeBron was talking about it? Okay, so you're saying it's more the Lakers. So this is actually something Sam and I haven't talked about.
Both. I think it's both. I think LeBron had been bitching all year. So let's go back before that, right?
He always is, though. But yes, go ahead.
So LeBron agitated for the Westbrook deal. Everybody recognized it as a colossal failure. Okay? The front office has gotten killed. They just got murdered for it afterwards. It's like, wait, you traded away all your wing depth, the most prime position in the NBA, so you could do this? And you got rid of Caruso? They were just getting murdered for the deal. LeBron absolutely agitated for it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. So now LeBron is a little sensitive about like, man, maybe this LeBron GM shit, this GM shit is not all it's cracked up to be. And so he's been kind of trying to chill on the GM. And also he's lost some credibility because, again, you wanted to get Russell Westbrook in here really bad. Then you got the Lakers front office who, I've talked to some people. They're like, yo, they're really sensitive about it. And they no longer want to make trades where it can be perceived that they got killed again. They're just not going to do it. Right.
It's such a bad spot when you're thinking about perception.
Yes.
When you do moves.
Yes. And so, as you can see, they've been gun shy on deals, right? Like they could have packaged the Westbrook thing. Remember when it was Westbrook and a bunch of firsts and all of that for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner and blah, blah, blah. So remember, they was like, fuck that. We're not giving up our draft capital. We're tired of getting fleeced in trades. Whatever. And of course, LeBron having to eat some humble pie, he's kind of been chill on that. Like, damn, I really did fuck up that Westbrook thing. So now, whatever, they do make a couple moves last year. They get better. They make a fluke conference finals run. It was a great little situation. But of course, like the season starts and LeBron's looking around and he's like, yo, this isn't good enough. But it's LeBron. He's fighting that tension of doing the shit that he always does while also understanding like I fucked this up before. So that's why he's doing these weird, like, he's beefing with the coach, and the way he does it is Spoelstra gets an extension. He quote tweets the report and says, worth every penny, right? He's asked about Ty Lue while in the Lakers locker room, and he just goes on a Ty Lue fucking soliloquy. Oh, that's Ty Lue's team. Man, Ty Lue, he got his imprint on it. Ty Lue, blah, 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 right? He's doing the LeBron passive-aggressive, the tweets, the time's up, the blah, blah, blah. He's doing all of that shit. So, of course, management is like, yo, this dude is really agitating in the press. He said that the guys on his team weren't as good as Bronny James, who, by the way, in double OT played 14 minutes the other day.
I've seen his UFC. I've seen his UFC highlights.
Yeah. So
keep it moving.
So the Lakers, like, he's doing this all season. So like that local reporter has gotten stuff before.
Right.
He's not just making shit up when he puts it out. And he's like, yo, the Lakers will definitely look at trade partners for LeBron. The Lakers absolutely leaked that to him. Like, yo, fuck this dude who's bitching all the time. And LeBron was like, all right, okay. Y'all want to play this game?
He's right, yeah.
All right. One, y'all not trading me. But two, like, again, he does the whole flirtation with the Knicks towel and the Knicks sneakers and I love playing. I love the Garden, blah, 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 and all of that. He does all of that to show like he could get people excited and he would love being there. And then, again, from what I understand, if he did force a trade, which he would have had the ultimate leverage, it would have been the Knicks or Golden State. He's dying to play with Steph.
He's not going to Minnesota. No offense, Rudy Gobert.
It's
No
not
offense,
happening.
top defense in the league.
This is the best news I've heard all year, baby. Best news I've heard all year.
He's dying to play with Steph. He would love
to
play with Steph.
I think the funniest part is
he's
you
preaching.
Painted. I agree with you. Or you painted. I can agree with this theory you have that it's the Lakers putting it out there, seeing if they can get the Warriors to give them a bunch of shit, or the Knicks, or it's LeBron. So like, it's ultimately going to have to be a team he's okay with, which maybe throw Miami in there too, right?
Maybe I don't see him going there so long as Pat is still in charge. When they let Spo take over it, if Pat retired this summer and Spo took over, I could see LeBron being like, "Yeah, I'll go over there." You know what I mean? But I don't think he's doing it with the Pat situation.
The Warriors, man, it's getting every time I hear it. This wasn't even on the rundown.
By the way,
rundown.
They're getting Chris Paul in a protected second, and they're gonna like it.
Enjoy.
So let's forget about the story of it. The basketball would make sense. That's the thing. That's the thing. I think the basketball would make incredible sense.
How can it not? Outside of the fact they're old. That's really the only reason. Is you've got a guy that wants to pass. You've got a guy that wants to shoot. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Realistically, guys, what does Andrew Wiggins do that LeBron doesn't do way better?
It's also LeBron. Like, what team are you like? Oh, it's a bad fit. He can play with any system. Like, it's like him and Steph. Like, all right, basketball's not the reason this isn't going to work.
Yeah,
like
Draymond's going to be the reason this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
Draymond might be on his best behavior.
Hey, I didn't even think about this.
Draymond would be on the team though. Yeah. He would still be around.
I didn't even think about this, but they might want it to happen just so they can control Draymond.
Yes,
just a little because who's the only guy who can tell Draymond to keep his shit together a little bit?
Well, it's those
certainly not. It's certainly not Steve Kerr. It's not Andrew Wiggins. I mean, based off the Warriors' success, or what it's not anyone who's in the building right now. That's for sure.
I seem to think that I think that LeBron is, but I'm hoping it happens. More likely to be a Warrior offseason than say I want it to happen. But do you actually though, or are you just like, or do you actually think it's a 20%?
I mean, because he's setting up this.
I
don't know when I'm gonna retire. I don't know what jersey it'll be. It makes me think he hasn't done this before. When he's just been re-signing with the Lakers, blah 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 blah. Like this whole recognizing my basketball mortality and blah blah blah. And again, he said he don't know what jersey he's gonna be in at All-Star. Like, why is he doing this?
Man, the Last Dance with the Warriors would be pretty comedy. Would be pretty
but you know what I will say is that's why Thursday night Warriors Lakers is our Under Armour game of the week. Because I gotta see now that Waz has painted the picture, and I hadn't really grasped the idea that the Lakers might be trying to quietly kill him and get rid of him too.
Also, there's another part of it too. Another part of it too is that there's a sense that we're getting ready for our next superstar chase. We about to get Luka. We about to get this. We about to get that. You know how the Lakers are.
Donovan Mitchell.
We're about to get we're getting ready to usher in the next great Laker acquisition, right? And so that's part of it. It's like LeBron is 50 years old, y'all. Like that has to matter at a certain point. So I think for both parties, it can be like, you know what? As much as I love running my business empire from Los Angeles and all of that, and it's great to play in the crib and all of that stuff. I think he legitimately wants to play with Steph. Legitimately.
We're gonna be on Body Language Watch.
Yes.
Thursday night for the Under Armour game of the league. We're gonna be seeing, is he turned smiling during Warriors warmups? Can you see in his eyes? He's trying to imagine, do I come out first? Am I last? How does the order go during warmups? Does Steph dap everyone up, or is it going to be awkward? Like, how do I fit into this? How does Steve Kerr handle his, I don't know that now I'm watching it from another lens. I was just getting ready for like the Laker whistle shenanigans and to be like fake mad that the Warriors fouled too many times and all that sort of stuff. Now we got new angles. We might have to break this whole thing down in a different way on Thursday, Andy.
I cannot wait. The final part of the matchup that I'm waiting for is pods, because there is not a better, and you said it, brown noser in the entire NBA. Can you imagine Ajemski on the same team with Steph and LeBron?
Soaking up all that knowledge, baby.
Hold
on, but Sam, it sounds like Andy is obviously fully on board. He's about sick of Wiggins and the rest of these fools. He's trying to get
I am too, just to be clear.
but you don't seem enthusiastic. But honestly, when I first heard about this, I was like, man, trading LeBron for Julius Randle, some picks, some more fodder. Man, getting LeBron on this iteration of the Knicks right now would have been an incredible NBA story. Mm-hmm. He literally plug and play for Julius Randle.
Right.
My brain was just like, wow.
Does everything he does just way better.
Way better. It's literally But Steph and LeBron, like that is just, man, that gets me. Yeah. This is NC-17 stuff. Right?
I got chills, man. I got chills right now.
Look, if it happened, I would fall in line and I would enjoy it. I'm not saying I wouldn't. I know myself. I would want, that first back screen, like duck kick out where LeBron makes a pass that no one on the Warriors is capable of making to Steph, and it's a 3. I'd be into it. I would. But part of me is just like, I don't want to see it. They've been rivals too long. It feels like I didn't want to see Magic and Bird team up. I'm not gonna pretend I was really paying attention at that point. That's just a lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know.
Oh, I can appreciate the sanctity of the rivalry. You'd rather not see it happen.
I want to see Steph get to 5 without LeBron. I want him to. I want to be able to say that dude was one of the best players of all time, but this guy won more titles than him. I want to be able to pull that one off. All things equal, that is my preferred outcome. Them find a way to acquire a different player who would, because clearly they need a talent infusion to get back into the mix, right? They need, since Clay can no longer be an all-star, they need some form of a talent infusion to actually.
So who would you have liked to see them take a big go thirsty for at the deadline if it was possible?
I mean, there really wasn't anyone at the deadline, right? Yeah. Like Siakam would have been a nice pick, but like, is he enough? I don't know, it's debatable, right? Like, I would have liked to see them acquire a bunch of guys, but like
another center, that seems like
it'd be Paul George in the offseason, I think is
Paul George.
There's always guys shaking free, right? There's always like they're going to trade Karl Anthony. Okay, that's definitely not my.
All right.
But like Pelicans are going to trade one of Ingram or Zion. I don't know. You can keep going down the list. Zion. Maybe I'm getting too hipster on these scenarios.
Can you imagine? And this defies thing. Maybe we cap it off the LeBron side here. Is they are going to yuck it up together. LeBron is so. Like, he's so flirty with Steph that sometimes I'm a little like, just my cringe a little bit.
That's the other part of it. I don't want the circus. I don't want
I'm shameless. I'm shameless. I want it. I need it. The circus. The Warriors are a circus right now in the bad way.
AD and Boogie Cousins and all the crazy.
It's a different animal. It's a different circus. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. It's not a circus, though. There's no two ways about it.
It's not the LeBron. LeBron has his own like media entourage.
Yeah.
On top of it, I don't need leaked articles about how he's losing faith, and we get that with Jonathan Kuminga anyway. So
yeah, that's the only way he can get playing time. But
Jonathan Kuminga bullied Steve Kerr in the press into giving him tick.
Yeah.
As absurd as that is, that's what happened, y'all.
Let's get to Kuminga. Hold on. But before we get to Kuminga, I'm gonna show you where you can get tickets to watch Steph and LeBron next season at Chase Center with Game Time, the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. All in prices, show your total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, yes, baseball coming back, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you pick the section. Game Time picks the seats for big time savings. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LIGHTYEARS, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LIGHTYEARS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
All right. Okay. Well, you kind of teed up my second question, or second segment here. So it's like, it goes without saying that we believe the Warriors are going to do something going into the offseason to reshape this roster. Now, you can tell me, what do I want to root for the rest of this season? I want to root for the young guys to get better. I want to believe Jonathan Kuminga can be an all-star. I want to believe Brandon Podziemski can be an impact player. I actually do like both of them, that sort of thing. But if I'm looking at this from like a holistic lens, what should Warrior fans be rooting for in the second half of the season to create the chaos they want in the offseason? Now, you mentioned the LeBron thing. We got to be rooting for that to just get more and more toxic to bring it to the table. But what else? What other things should we be rooting for in the second half of the season? Because like the Warriors can say they're going to be aggressive and they want to make trades. They want to do X, Y, and Z. Someone's got to be unhappy on the other end to open those doors.
Yeah, I think teams have to, I don't know, like the type of impact player, right? Everybody hates Zach LaVine, so he's out of the question. Although I think at his best, he's an impact player. Sure. I just don't think he's always accessing that capability. And also, I think it's a bad sign that literally everybody hated the guy in Chicago this year. The guys on the team hated him. Coaches hated him. Everybody hated him. There's something that needs to be said. But I wonder if you could buy as low as you could buy on a guy who's getting $45 million a year, right?
Yeah, it doesn't seem too low to me.
He's, he could be a proto Clay, type of guy in the system, right? Whatever. But I think that's the kind of high variance player that they should be trying to get. Donovan Mitchell, I don't know how I feel about something like that, because obviously everything you hear is that he's not long for Cleveland and that he sees himself as finally getting to some big market because he thinks he's just this big, bankable, marketable, big market person. I don't know how I feel about that. I'd like to see some damn size in the backcourt next to Steph. So, like, again, even as good as
it would be cool if the Warriors got someone over 6'5".
Yeah, and Donovan Mitchell is just not that. He's not.
No, but I'm even talking like bigger picture. Like you're seeing what's going on with Milwaukee. Like I think they're gonna get their shit together, but like in theory, like them turning into a train wreck. Well, maybe shit changes in the offseason, right? Like that sort of stuff.
What are you trying to say?
I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just trying to say, like, if I'm looking at this from a Warriors perspective, I'm like, what teams do you want to really tank to open up options for you in the offseason?
But that's the thing, though. How many wings out there are over 6'5", guard people, and are the type of impactful offensive player that we're talking about. Like these are just not dudes that
Right,
you
right.
can go out and get, right? Like, and somebody in the chat had said something about Mikal Bridges, which, you know, on Zach Lowe's pod, they're like, yo, they threw out the idea that Houston would give, or who was
18 picks.
Yeah, Houston, I think it's Houston that wanted Bridges and give the Nets their draft pick back for the James Harden deal, right? Which is like 3 first-rounders, a bunch of swaps, all of this crazy shit. So it's like, if that's what it's going to cost to get Mikal Bridges, who is essentially what we're talking about, a bigger wing who guards, who can do something on offense. You know, he's not great, but they can do something. I just don't see where.
Yeah.
We might be back at LeBron. That might be the best path, right?
Yeah, that is, and they've really got this Kuminga stuff. Really does have to work. I mean, it's already kind of working this season. To be honest, he's gotten a lot better, but they need him to age like 3 years in 1 year. That's the hard part, right? Can you imagine if it was like a 24, 25-year-old Kuminga going into next season? I mean, they might be good. But the problem is if they're saying like we're looking at a wing guy. It's like, well,
or you're talking about DeJounte Murray. Does that get you guys going?
We talked ad nauseum about it.
I'm a big DeJounte guy, but I hear you. It's like
I think DeJounte Murray, in theory, the guy that first started out in San Antonio, who was literally like a glove, bro. This guy was guarding fools up and down the court. It was crazy what this guy was doing on defense. And then inevitably, you know, once you start doing the shit that gets you girls, i.e. dropping 20-something a game, you know, making all-star teams, blah, 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 all that defense shit went out the window. He said, fuck that. So he hasn't done it in forever. You know, you wonder if Steve Kerr could coax it out of him and Steph, if they could be like, yo, your role is defined. Yo, we're going to go out and win a championship, blah, 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 if he could get back to that. But he hasn't been that. So it's like you're in love with a theoretical DeJounte Murray. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All trades are theoretical, though. Like, it's what it comes down to.
Would you want to take a flyer on Jalen Green?
No, absolutely not.
No.
Literally,
we're trying to add closer to 30, not 20. So
no, I don't even care how old he is. What the fuck? What are we doing here? He'll be 28 for all I care.
They said he's on the block. That's why I threw it out.
Good for them. Good for them. No, I mean I'm rooting for the Clippers to fall apart because I know we talked about it, but like I do not believe they're going to give Paul George and Harden mega extensions after their 5th fucking second round bullshit exit. It's gonna force some hand. Maybe Steve Ballmer is that rich he doesn't give a shit.
It's not maybe, he is. Guys, like this is the thing. We gotta always remember these things. One, he paid James Dolan $400 million just to get off his dick. Stop tying him up in court with that foreign bullshit. He literally just said, yo, here's $400 million to go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. The $400 million, guys. Just so
so money's not going to be the reason. It's going to be ego, where it's just like, I'm tired. I'm tired of you guys.
So it can't be money. Even if they try to play negotiation games, they certainly can't do it with Paul George, who, let's face it, the Sixers cap space is staring right at him, and he fits an obvious need. So the Clippers can't even try to lowball. He has an obvious fucking suitor in Philadelphia, so they have to pay him, and they will. And then the Harden thing, the reason why he agitated to get there is because he has a promise to get paid. He's probably not going to get, whatever his max deal is, but I could see him getting 3 years, 100, 3 years, 110 or something like that this offseason. He's going to get a nice deal.
Right. And I'm just saying, if they, everyone's January champions, the LA Clippers, they're rolling. They do look nice. Like there's no way around that. But like if they flame out in May again. And you're right. It's not going to be about money. It's not going to be Ballmer's going to be like, I can't afford this. I just wonder if the rich guy's like, how many more times do I have to pay these dudes versus like, can we just try a different team? You know, like
so
that.
The Warriors can't outright sign Paul George in the cap space.
Yeah, but he has a player option.
So you're saying like let's do SGA trade again. We're gonna send Kuminga over there.
They're not gonna. They can't demand that much. I mean, they can always let him walk.
PG
they can from the team that's thirsty for him.
Yeah, but like years on your contract matters, especially when he can say, "I'm just going to walk and go to Philly." Would you rather have a couple things, or you let me go to Philly?
Maybe the three-dimensional chess might work out in you guys' favor like this, but I have a hard time. And also, Paul George wants to be there.
You really want to trade him up to San Francisco in your division while everyone wears little Steph jerseys in the arena. You know, it's true.
People gonna sneak into the fan wall, rip off a Steph jersey afterwards.
People get petty. They get petty. You know, like it sucks. You buy a team, billions of dollars. You want to make a fan base, and everyone just shows up in their Kobe or LeBron Lakers jersey.
Would you be such a perfect Warrior?
I'm just a hipster about it.
Just so overqualified to be like just the clear number 2. You know, like he's so perfect he'd obviously be way better than even Wiggins was in 2022, right? Like as good as Wiggins was then, but like, because like Paul George, he can't miss open threes. Like his jump shot is legitimate.
Yeah.
You know, in ways that Wiggins just never was. Yeah, I'm a Paul George fan. I'm a fan of his game. I just have a hard time believing the Clippers, no matter what happens, lets this guy walk.
He wants to be in LA too, Paul George. I'd imagine.
Of course,
I'd imagine.
Dude. You know, Pacers fans have dreams of Paul George coming back.
Yeah, I listen to
everyone wants to be in LA. You know,
I'm just
you make that much money, you're close enough.
Guys, it's just not. It's just for his last 3 years in Indiana, all we heard was Paul George is trying to get back to Southern California. It wasn't even. He even said it publicly.
He's from Fresno, isn't he? He's not from Fresno. Where's he from?
Fresno State. He's from Palmdale, which is not Los Angeles.
How far is it?
70, 60
I would
miles.
say like 60, 70 miles. Yeah, it's east of here. It's out in the desert.
It's like Stockton.
It's out in the desert. Yeah,
probably a little closer, but it's like it's you know.
Look, guys. All roads lead back to LeBron. I mean, that's what we're getting at with this spot.
Andy's with me on this. Andy wants to.
What are we doing here? Talking about if I'm giving up Kuminga, I'm giving up Kuminga for LeBron, not freaking Paul George, bro. What the fuck? No shot. You know what I mean? Obviously, Sam throws out Giannis. I know he was hinting at Milwaukee falling apart, of course. But
I mean, I don't think that's serious.
If anything, they'll just get rid of Dame and try to do a fire sale. And Giannis is under contract for 5 more years. It's just like, whatever, bro. We got tickets to sell. So you're going to have to be here. Everybody else will get rid of.
Pat Connaughton.
I've never seen a more miserable person than Damian Lillard these last few months. That's for sure.
It's tough.
They're all miserable there. Let's be real. Don't put that all on Dame.
And by the way, the Giannis situation has a lot of Bron parallels in that he agitated for the new coach, just like Bron had agitated for Westbrook, and he agitated for the Russell Westbrook of coaches. It was terrible, a terrible fit. The dude immediately, he had no credibility in that locker room. I remember I went on Bill's show. I said, "Yo, you know," because again, I'm talking to people.
Which one's the Westbrook? Adrian Griffin or Doc?
Man,
I thought you meant Doc, and now I think you mean Adrian Griffin.
Adrian
I thought I meant Doc too.
It's like, bro, because look, Nick Nurse was gonna get the job. And Nick Nurse is doing a bang-up job in Philadelphia.
Nick Nurse is a really good coach. Yeah,
he's a really good coach, but he's a hard ass.
Yeah.
And Giannis got it in his mind. Yo, we don't want Nick Nurse in here. He 86 the Nick Nurse thing, and then Nick Nurse came out and said, "Oh, I'm stepping away from out of the sweepstakes of the Bucks and blah 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 to save face." But Giannis 86'd it. And he was like, yeah, Adrian Griffin, former coach, whatever. He's not going to be up my ass, blah, 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 blah. Turns out the guy can't fucking coach.
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, that's their problem.
Yeah. Well, at least they got a championship, so it's not as stressful.
And
But
it's
if you're
like, and a lot of it is this small market mentality of, oh, Giannis, he deigned sign a contract with us, and we got to sniff his ass at every turn. It's like, yo, put the best team together. Put the best team together. Hire the best coach possible. Do all of that stuff, and I'm sure he'll be happy from the results. But like, quiet as kept, man. Nobody in Milwaukee can hold a dude accountable. His bum ass brother's on the team for what? That's how you know it's a lot of accountability skirting up there.
Did you see Thanasis do the sham god? You didn't like the sham god? Spin move, finish. All right, man.
Listen, man.
I could pick him up for my weekly team. We could use him.
This is America, and nepotism is, it rules the day, always, everywhere. But goddamn. I thought in the NBA it was supposed to be some type of meritocracy, man.
Thanasis. Good for him.
What team doesn't have the owner's son in the front office?
Probably does James Dolan have kids?
Well, I mean, they've got Leon Rose's entire fucking catalog of fucking.
Yeah, so
players,
but then you see, even
so
if it's
different
not Dolan,
a different type
it's a different type of nepotism,
Yeah, that's true.
Although that's working out for them, to be fair. Like the Knicks are set up for success, I think.
That was another thing that happened with the LeBron thing. Rich Paul and Leon Rose burying the hatchet. Because LeBron was a CAA guy, and they had Leon Rose was his guy, and they had the falling out, blah, 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 blah. And of course, like, why it's so diabolical and hilarious is that LeBron's not Rich Paul's only client, right? Like, he could have been talking to him about, DeJounte Murray, or he could have been talking to him about what's the freaking dude?
Moses Moody.
The dude on the point guard for the Bucks. The vet, what's his freaking name? Why am I drawing a blank on this guy?
Who?
No, the one that used to be on the Bucks.
Eric Bledsoe?
No, man. He plays. What's his freaking name?
Oh, Malcolm.
Oh, Malcolm Brogdon.
Brogdon. He's clutch now. Remember, there was a bunch of Brogdon to the Knicks talk or whatever. And so, like, you can say, oh, Rich Paul was just talking. He was talking about any number of clients, blah, 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 blah. But that wasn't the point. The point was to send a message like, boy, don't ever play with LeBron.
Lakers are a mess. Lakers are a mess. Makes me feel like the Warriors have a good long-term strategy ahead of them. Warriors got all figured out. You know what I mean? They got the
Warriors
second time.
have better ownership, period. There's just no two ways about it. They have a way less dysfunctional ownership situation, and that's why they bear way better results more consistently than the Lakers do. Period. The most clownish shit that happens is, bad draft picks and not playing young guys. Like, I mean, Draymond's
the Wiseman
psychosis
is terrible.
Yeah, Wiseman. That's tough. That's gonna be a crazy 30 for 30. Yo, I saw Greg Oden at a Hennessy party.
Oh, nice.
He's doing it. What
Saturday.
What was he doing in Indiana?
He was with a shorty. I think he's from Indiana.
Oh, is he looking good?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked really good, actually.
That's good, man.
He was smiling, having a good time.
He should have been.
Little cute little shorty too.
I mean,
I wasn't mad at the shorty he was with.
He's from Indiana, and you know what? I feel for him. His body fell apart. Wiseman has no excuses.
Wiseman's terrible.
Yeah, he didn't have his knee.
Oven mitts for hands.
Oven mitts for brains is what it really is. Hey man, he's playing in Detroit. I check in on him. He'll end it there.
Yeah, he's not playing.
He's not playing. He was at the end of last year, and people were like, "Oh, the Wiseman thing. Oh, all he needed was a change of scenery." Blah blah blah. No, he don't.
I love that was my favorite. It's like I don't think the Warriors are the smartest team on earth, but like you really think they traded him to Detroit and like that was gonna work out? Like you really think that's how it was gonna go?
When the Warriors make a trade,
there was like 1% chance he was gonna be good. That was happening.
If the guy has a 1% chance of being good, the Warriors aren't trading him. If the Warriors are one thing, they hold on.
At least he can speak Mandarin. Is that true, Andy?
I speak
James
Cantonese.
Wiseman speaks Mandarin.
I don't speak Mandarin, but yes, he does. Literally, Fitz got on the call when he got drafted in front of Chase Center and told him to speak Mandarin, and that was our introduction to James.
James Wiseman.
That was the
Curran.
sell. He's such a
By the
smart
way,
kid. He speaks
oh my
Mandarin.
God, Steve Kerr and Bob Myers, the fucking ultra libs that they are. You know the black kids speaking Mandarin. They just creamed their pants when he did that one, boy.
You're joking, but that's actually what happened.
100% what happened.
Come on, that versus LaMelo. You know exactly. Imagine those guys sitting with LaMelo at dinner at a nice restaurant pre-draft versus Wiseman ordering in Mandarin. I mean, that's why we clown him, because it's like it's so transparent.
Yeah,
why they made that pick. It's like, yeah,
I didn't know about the speaks Mandarin situation. Oh my God. It's such a that is so. Oh my God!
How do we end up?
Yeah,
man? How do we end up here, man?
Look, man, people.
LeBron is on the way.
I'm not a hater. I just calling it the way I saw it. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Was.
Oh,
much love,
guys.
Waz,
this was fantastic, man. Of course, every single time. I love talking to you guys, and keep
before we get out of here,
season.
I got something for you.
Oh God.
It's not.
I started learning Mandarin really in 9th to 10th grade. My friends wanted to learn Spanish, so I just wanted to do something different. And really, I knew that China was a part of the NBA globally, so I just wanted to use that as an attribute. It's been fun just learning Chinese characters, learning how to write it, how to pronounce it. So everything, it was very challenging, but I made sure I kept good grades, and I had an A+.
Good grades, bro.
Today we are testing my vocab.
Didn't work on boxing out, but good grades.
Is he gonna speak it?
Wow. What's your Geo?
It's actually pretty good. I don't speak it.
I use my phone. I take it everywhere. I take it on road trips.
Wow.
Everywhere normal, just necessity. So yeah. Well,
hey man.
I have an Apple computer and I use that everywhere. I watch a lot of.
I have an Apple computer.
I watch movies, Netflix, and different types of cool stuff.
I don't want to clown on him. He seems like a nice kid in general.
Seems like a great guy.
You aren't being drafted for being nice. You're being drafted to box out, buddy. That's cruel.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, I appreciate you.
Shouts to Wiseman, man. CCP, we going to the moon, baby.
All right, I'm out.
Later.
Much love.